Justin Bieber, one of the most famous faces in pop music. But how did this teen sensation, who once had the world at his feet, end up in the whirlwind of controversies, health battles, and personal struggles? Was it always a smooth ride to the top? From YouTube sensation to global superstar, Justin's life has been a wild roller coaster, full of ups and downs. Fame, love, fame again, and the constant search for peace. What happens when the world watches you grow up? Let's take a closer look at Justin Bieber's journey, one twist at a time. Imagine being just 13 years old, posting videos of yourself singing on YouTube. And then suddenly being discovered by a music mogul who sees potential in you. That's exactly how it all started for Justin Bieber. Born in Ontario, Canada in 1994, he was just a regular kid with big dreams. But what made him stand out? His incredible voice, undeniable charm, and his ability to connect with people through his music. In 2007, Justin's mom, Pattie Mallette, uploaded a video of him singing Ne-Yo's So Sick.
Gotta change my answering machine. Now that I'm alone, 'cause right now it says that we can't come to the phone, and I know it makes no sense.
Little did she know that video would change his life forever. A chance discovery by Scooter Braun, a music executive, set off a series of events that would skyrocket him into superstardom. At the time, Justin had no idea that his dream of becoming a famous singer would become his reality so quickly. But from the moment he signed with Braun, it was clear that Justin was something special. Fast forward to 2009, and the world was introduced to the Justin Bieber we all know. He was the new teen heartthrob, with a big hit song, Baby, and millions of fans already obsessed with his every move. The world was at his feet. Magazine covers, radio interviews, sold-out tours, it seemed like nothing could stop him. But the fame didn't come without its challenges. What happens when a kid from Canada is suddenly thrust into the world's spotlight? The pressure was intense, and Justin quickly realized that fame isn't all it's cracked up to be. While he was living the dream, he was also facing something much more complicated. He was growing up in front of the world. Everyone had an opinion on his personal life, from his relationships to his style and his every social media post. As much as the love from fans felt great, it was tough to deal with the constant scrutiny. His every move was watched, judged, and critiqued, and at such a young age it was easy to get lost in the noise. But through it all, Justin kept pushing forward. He released more hits, kept the fans coming back for more, and stayed in the public eye, whether he wanted to or not. Fame wasn't just about the music anymore. It was about everything. The persona, the brand, the constant cycle of interviews, performances, and expectations. How long could he keep this up? Would he continue to thrive in the spotlight? Or would the weight of it all eventually catch up with him? That's where Justin's journey really takes a turn. As much as it looked like everything was perfect on the outside, there was more going on beneath the surface. But what exactly was happening behind closed doors? As Justin Bieber's career skyrocketed, the cracks in his perfect image began to show. At just 18 years old, he was already a household name. But with fame came immense pressure, and the toll it was taking on him became more apparent. The constant attention, the spotlight, and the expectations were starting to feel overwhelming. The world expected perfection, but what they didn't see were the struggles Justin was dealing with behind the scenes. In 2013, things started to unravel. Justin's behavior was often reckless and controversial. He made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Whether it was his legal issues, his wild partying, or the infamous egg-throwing incident. The media loved to paint him as a bad boy, but what they didn't realize was that Justin was struggling with something much deeper. He had become a symbol of everything wrong with fame. The pressures, the loneliness, the lack of control. Despite the fame, Justin felt increasingly isolated. It was hard to find real friends when everyone around you had an agenda. He turned to things like partying and reckless behavior to cope, but that only made the situation worse. At one point, his fans even began to turn on him, accusing him of being spoiled and ungrateful. This was the point where his mental and emotional health was truly put to the test. But it wasn't just his behavior that raised eyebrows. It was his relationship with his fans and his personal life that began to create a storm. There were the infamous rumors about his relationship with Selena Gomez, which only added to the chaos. Fans followed their every move, and with each breakup and makeup, the drama escalated. The pressure of being in a high-profile relationship wasn't easy, especially when it was being watched by millions. Behind the headlines, Justin was struggling with feelings of worthlessness, insecurity, and confusion. He had lived a life that few could imagine, but he felt lost. His fame and success should have been everything he wanted, yet it didn't feel that way. He had to figure out who he was outside of the public persona that had been created for him. Was he Justin Bieber, the pop sensation, or just a guy trying to figure things out like anyone else? The world had its opinions, but it was clear that Justin needed a break. And that's when everything took a turn. What came next in his journey would be a wake-up call, a chance for him to reset, reevaluate, and maybe even rebuild. But would he emerge stronger or fall deeper into the cycle? Justin's life hit a breaking point, and the crash was as loud as it was inevitable. After years of chaos, he was worn thin, emotionally and physically. It was around 2014 when the weight of it all became impossible to ignore. He was no longer just a teenager navigating fame. He was a man fighting his demons, one of which was a deep, growing loneliness. Even the brightest stars have their shadows, and Justin found himself in one, unable to find his way out. It was a time when his personal and professional life was in tatters. He was in and out of courtrooms, dealing with legal issues while his career began to falter. The album sales that once seemed endless now felt like a distant memory. He went from being the teen heartthrob to someone constantly under public scrutiny, facing one scandal after another. His relationship with Selena Gomez ended in a bitter and public way, and that only added more fuel to the fire. Justin's health, both mental and physical, began to take a significant toll. In 2015, he took a step back from the public eye and sought help. This wasn't a quick fix. It wasn't a one-day-at-a-time approach either. He checked into therapy, started to take his mental health seriously, and began a journey toward healing that would ultimately change the direction of his life. The breakaway was necessary for his well-being, but it also allowed him to reconnect with his true self. As he began to heal, something remarkable happened. He found his faith. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but over time, he started to turn his life around. He leaned into spirituality, seeking support from church communities and mentors who helped him rebuild from the inside out. His fans noticed the change, though the road was far from smooth. Justin wasn't the same person they had grown to know, and that's when a new phase in his life began. He wasn't just coming back to the spotlight, but he was coming back as someone new, someone who had learned that success was never meant to be defined by fame alone. The old Justin was gone, and in his place was a more grounded version of himself. But there was still one major question lingering. Would his past haunt him forever, or could he build a future beyond the trauma of his early years? It was a question Justin had to answer for himself, even if it meant facing the very demons that brought him to this point. After years of turmoil, Justin Bieber's comeback didn't just come from new music. It came from a place of deep self-reflection and growth. He entered a new phase in life marked by his 2018 marriage to Hailey Baldwin. The couple's whirlwind romance, followed by a surprise wedding in New York, signified a fresh start for Justin. The Biebers were often seen as Hollywood's golden couple, but the pressure never completely went away. The spotlight was still on him, but this time, Justin seemed to have a firmer grip on his life and his choices. While many speculated that his marriage would be the thing that saved him, Justin knew that true healing had to come from within. He turned to therapy, spoke openly about his struggles, and did everything he could to stay grounded. Despite the highs and lows of the limelight, his relationship with Hailey appeared to offer him some stability, especially after everything he'd been through. But even with this new sense of balance, Justin's personal battles were far from over. His ongoing mental health challenges, struggles with his past trauma, and the relentless pressures of fame weren't easily shaken off. Yet, each moment of growth, no matter how small, made him stronger. And it showed. His music, particularly his 2020 album Changes, was a reflection of this journey. The songs were more introspective, vulnerable, and mature, tracing his path from confusion and pain to self-acceptance. Justin knew that to move forward, he had to take ownership of his story, flaws and all. But could he continue to evolve beyond the mistakes and missteps of his younger years? Would this new chapter bring more challenges, or would it finally bring peace? The roller coaster wasn't over yet, but Justin was learning to ride it with a little more grace. Justin Bieber's life, filled with unimaginable highs and lows, has always been a reminder of the human side of fame. From the shockwaves of his early fame to his struggle with mental health, Justin's journey hasn't been easy. He's been the subject of both intense adoration and relentless criticism, facing challenges that most of us could never even begin to imagine. But despite all the struggles, there's something undeniably powerful about the way he's navigated this crazy ride. At the end of it all, Justin has come to terms with his imperfections. He no longer tries to chase an image of perfection that he once thought he had to embody. Instead, he's learned to embrace his flaws, his past mistakes, and the unpredictability of his journey. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real, raw, and resilient. And that's exactly what Justin has shown us over the years. His story isn't finished yet. The music, the personal growth, the lessons learned, all of it continues to shape who he is today. He's learned to find peace, not in perfection, but in the messiness of life. He's discovered the importance of loving yourself through the struggles, of growing in the face of hardship, and that is what truly defines him today. So, what's next for Justin Bieber? Well, the world is waiting, and his ride isn't over. There will be new music, new moments, new challenges, and undoubtedly more lessons. But the most important takeaway from Justin's journey is this: no matter where you are in life, it's never too late to embrace your flaws, to learn from your past and to push forward. His story serves as a reminder that the most beautiful parts of life are often the messy, imperfect parts, and they can still lead to something incredible. In the end, Justin Bieber's roller coaster of a life isn't just about fame or fortune. It's about growth, resilience, and the strength to keep riding, no matter the bumps along the way. And if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that this ride is far from over.